Let's look at your project workspace in the dashboard. This is where you create, organize and manage all of your projects and designs directly within the dashboard. As your business grows, so does the number of leads, revisions, variations and client work. Instead of keeping everything in one long list of designs, the project workspace gives you structure. It separates your work into three clear areas: the design templates where you store your staple models, projects where you manage client-specific work, and your archive where you store completed or inactive designs and projects. Let's walk through the best practices for using each properly. Design templates are where you store your staple models. These should be the repeatable designs your business is known for. Think of them as your model showroom. Here's the best practice: only turn staple models into templates. If it's something that you confidently sell again, it belongs here. If it's a one-off client customization, it should live inside of a project instead. Make sure that your templates are clearly named. Use consistent naming, like, for example, if you sell different home styles, like ADUs, cabins, or tiny homes on wheels, give the template the name of the design together with that type. For example, I have different templates of cabins, prefab homes and tiny homes on wheels, so I have added that naming into the name right here. When starting a new client design, you can choose off your list of design templates, which then creates a copy in your project which you can modify as you wish. This keeps your original template clean and reusable. A project represents one lead or a client. Let's have a look at an example project that's currently in progress. Inside of a project, you can create multiple design variations, store revisions of those design variations, add client details, and keep internal notes for the project. Instead of having 10 different versions floating around in your account, everything stays organized under one dedicated client project. When you need to start a new design for a project, you can either start from scratch with a blank design or start with one of your own templates. If you want to create a design variation of a design that's already in your project, you can then duplicate the design. That way you can compare options and track revisions properly instead of overwriting previous versions. Let's go back and create a new project. No matter how early the lead is, it's a good idea to create a dedicated project straight away. When a client requests a new proposal, create a project for them to work on their lead. First, we will enter the project name. I usually like naming it after the project's address or what the project is about, like Bob's Cabin. Then enter the primary client details. So we'll call him Bob Smith, for example, and you can enter more client contact details later once you actually get into the project. Let's open up the project here. Then you can start out by designing a new model from scratch if the client requires a fully custom approach, or you can choose one of your templates. Will show up in a list like this right here. We've introduced a flexible archiving system to help keep your workspace clean. You can now archive templates, designs within projects, and entire projects. Archiving removes them from your active workspace, but keeps them safely stored in the archive. The best practice here is to archive regularly. If a model is outdated, archive it. If a project is completed, archive it. If a revision is also no longer needed, archive it. Permanent deletion can only happen from the archived section, which reduces risks of accidentally losing important work. Let's head into a project to have a look at how we can archive projects. So let's say we'll want to archive Bob's Cabin right now. We can click on this button here and click Archive. Once we archive, this project will show up in the archive projects. Now let's have a look at how we can archive designs. The same workflow applies here. We'll click on the design and we'll archive the design, which will now show up in the archive designs. So archive projects show up over here. If it doesn't show up straight away, we might need to reload it, or we'll just wait for a second until it shows up. And now we can have the archive project right here. And then if we want to move it back into the active projects, we'll click to move to projects. Or if we want to get rid of the project forever, we'll click delete project, which we then need to confirm to make sure that we don't accidentally do that action. And the same thing happens for archive designs. Let's say we want to bring the option 1 back here, and we want to move it into a project. We'll, let's say, put it back into 123 Example Street. There we go. Now it's back into the project. Or we can also turn any archive designs into a template, or like the other projects, we can also delete the design forever in case we no longer need it. So if we go back into projects, we'll see that the design has been added back into the project right here. If you've been using TinyEasy's 3D Designer before this update was released, all your unsorted designs will be moved into the Archive Design section. Nothing is deleted, you can simply start with a clean, structured workspace. Here's what we recommend. First, you should review your archive designs. Second, turn any of your staple models that are within your designs into templates by turning them into a template right here. And then create projects for any active clients, and then move the designs into the correct projects by using the Move to Project function. Anything that is old or unused can simply stay archived. Think of an archive like your design storage. It's there when you need it, but it doesn't clutter your active workspace. The goal of the project workspace isn't just organization, it's clarity. When your templates, projects, and archive work all have a clear purpose, your workflow becomes easier to manage, easier to delegate, and easier to scale. And that's how you get the most out of your project workspace.